In a time not far from now, but rooted deep in the cries of women who came before, there lived a young woman named Asha. Her spirit, though bright, often felt heavy, as if she carried a burden not her own. Asha was a mother, soon to be a grandmother, and the weight of her lineage pressed upon her shoulders like a mountain. Her own daughter, Zara, a blossom of youthful beauty, came to her one day, her eyes clouded with an inexplicable weariness. "Mama," Zara sighed, "I am tired of my marriage. Kofi, my husband, is a good man, kind and gentle. He never raises his voice, never lays a hand on me. Yet I am tired, bored even." Asha's heart sank. This weariness, this inexplicable ennui in the face of a good life, felt eerily familiar. She herself had known it, though she had buried it deep, refusing to acknowledge the gnawing emptiness that had once threatened to consume her own spirit. She thought of her mother, Nana, a woman of unwavering strength, whose own stories hinted at untold struggles. The following night, a dream, vivid as the morning sun, visited Asha. She saw her grandmother, a shadowy figure, bent low under a colossal load. Then the burden was passed to Nana, who in turn placed it upon Asha. Just as Asha was about to transfer it to Zara, the load grew impossibly heavy, and she recoiled, crying out in her sleep. This dream, a recurring whisper from the spirit world, was a warning, a prophecy of a generational burden threatening to ensnare Zara, just as it had ensnared the women before her. Asha spoke of the dream to Nana, her voice tinged with urgency. "Mama, I fear this is spiritual. I saw Grandma, then you, then me, carrying this heavy load, and now it wants to pass to Zara." Nana, a woman of deep faith and tradition, initially dismissed it, attributing it to mere unease. "It's just a dream, Asha. You are overthinking." But Asha, guided by an inner knowing, refused to let it go. She recognized the echoes of her own silent struggles in Zara's newfound discontent. Zara, meanwhile, continued to speak of her inexplicable boredom with her kind husband Kofi. Asha, trying to understand, pleaded with her. "My child, there is something not right. Your spirit feels it. I feel it. You must return to your husband's house. A woman's strength is nurtured in her own home." Zara, rebellious and frustrated, cried out, "Mama, you just want things your way. You told me to cover my hair, and I did. You told me to marry, and I married Kofi. Now I am tired, and you want to control even that." Asha's heart ached. This was not about control, but about a deep, inherited wound. She made a pact with Zara. "Go back to Kofi's house, and I will come with you. I will stay for weeks, even months, if that is what it takes for this marriage to flourish." But the burden was tenacious. Even with Asha by her side, Zara remained restless. One morning, Asha awoke to find Zara gone, having returned to her childhood home. "Mama," Zara declared, "this is not our house. This is your house, Nana's house, everyone's house." Her words, though seemingly simple, carried the weight of a lineage that found it difficult to build and sustain its own foundations. This act of rebellion, this inability to settle, confirmed Asha's deepest fears. "This is not natural," she whispered, her voice filled with conviction. This calls for prayer. This is a spiritual matter." Asha sought out a pastor, a wise elder known for his spiritual insight. She poured out her heart, recounting the recurring dream, Zara's inexplicable restlessness, and the unsettling pattern she observed in the women of her family. The pastor listened patiently, his eyes seeing beyond the mundane. "Asha, this is a generational thing. The burden your grandmother carried, then your mother, and now you, is attempting to pass to your daughter. We must bring your mother and grandmother here. Only then can we truly address this spiritual inheritance." Asha, determined, confronted Nana. "Mama, we must go to the pastor. I've had this dream too many times, a dream of a load passed down through our women. This is why Zara is struggling. This is why we keep returning to this house, never truly establishing our own homes." Nana, ever the pragmatist, was resistant. "Asha, we are Christians. We pray. Why must we go to these places, searching for what is already within?" But Asha's resolve was unshakable. "Mama, you know everything about looking good, about the world's remedies, but what about our spiritual life? What about the invisible chains that bind us? I carried this burden, but I will not stand by and watch Zara carry it." Finally, Nana relented, though with a grumble. Together, the 3 generations of women, Asha, Nana, and Zara, stood before the pastor, their hearts heavy with unspoken truths. The pastor, with the wisdom of ages, spoke of the unseen forces that can ripple through generations. He spoke of unspoken grief, of unfulfilled destinies, of burdens carried in silence. Then he turned to Nana, his gaze gentle but firm. "My daughter, there is a confession to be made, a truth that must be brought into the light for the healing to begin." Nana, her face etched with a lifetime of hidden pain, finally began to speak. Her voice, at first a whisper, grew stronger as she recounted the tale of her own youth. She spoke of a powerful, unspoken pact made by her grandmother, a pact born of desperation and the need for survival, that unknowingly tethered the women of their line to a pattern of struggle and restless spirits in their relationships. It was a burden of spirit, a longing for something elusive, passed down from mother to daughter. This unspoken agreement, though intended to protect, had inadvertently created a generational cycle of weariness in relationships and an inability to find lasting peace in their own homes. As Nana spoke, a heavy silence fell upon the room, broken only by the quiet sobs of Asha and Zara. The truth, raw and painful, hung in the air, a long-held secret finally exposed. The pastor, sensing the collective anguish, urged them towards prayer. "God," he intoned, his voice resonating with spiritual power, "is the ultimate healer. Only through sincere prayer and devotion can these generational chains be broken." And so the 3 women, guided by the pastor, began to pray. They prayed with hearts heavy with sorrow, with spirits yearning for release. They prayed for forgiveness, for understanding, and for the strength to break free from the patterns of the past. Days turned into nights filled with supplications and heartfelt pleas. Then, on a night when the moon was full and the air hung heavy with anticipation, a profound shift occurred. As they prayed, a tremor ran through the house.
Nana, in the throes of deep prayer, suddenly cried out. When Asha and Zara rushed to her side, they found her still, a serene smile gracing her lips. The generational burden at last had been lifted, taking with it the weary spirit of Nana. She had become the final sacrifice, the one who broke the chain with her unwavering faith and confession. Though grief-stricken, Asha and Zara felt a profound sense of peace. The oppressive weight that had defined their lives, that had haunted their dreams, was gone. Asha now, filled with a newfound purpose, turned to Zara. "My child, your grandmother's sacrifice has freed us.
Now you must return to your husband, not out of obligation, but out of love, and build a home rooted in prayer and peace." Zara, her eyes clear and bright for the first time in a long while, nodded. The weariness had vanished, replaced by a radiant glow. She returned to Kofi, her heart open, ready to build a life free from the shadows of the past. And so, the story of Asha and Zara became a testament to the enduring power of faith and the sacred responsibility of mothers. The generational burden, once a formidable mountain, had been dissolved by truth, prayer, and the ultimate sacrifice of a mother's love. Moral lesson. Like a well that has been poisoned by the generations before, so too can the spirits of a family be tainted by unspoken burdens. It is the sacred duty of each generation, especially mothers, to seek out the source of this spiritual illness, to confront the hidden truths, and through unwavering prayer and confession to cleanse the well, ensuring that the waters of life flow pure and clear for the generations to come. For without healing the past, we risk passing on the very burdens we ourselves carry. And true peace can only be found when we break the chains that bind us.